life force and today's speaker is Dr. Ananda Ananda Kumar Dhanashekaran, and he has done some homework on the imprints or the karmas, and he has been appreciated for his talk on this. Hope you all enjoy. Without wasting much of time, let me invite Dr. Ananda Kumar Dhanashekaran.
Thank you, Ayya.
Yes.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the participants based upon the part of the world you are joining this meeting. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, very much.
Is it full screen, Ayya?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I need to thank Dr. Devi, who is one of our main key person in the Aliyar in the recent Temple of Consciousness related science and spirituality meeting. And this whole discussions are happened because of a referral. And not only that, we share quite a common thought. We do a lot of discussions on some burning issues relating to the life, karma, etc. And I will certainly say Dr. Devi and Dr. M.V.R. Ayya played very key part in my spiritual journey. Now, in this discussion, I'm going to discuss the karma in general. And since this group is specifically focused on the life force, I will try to concentrate on karma in real life force. I will be trying to cover as much what our Magrishi has mentioned, but we need to go a little bit outside our Magrishi also to get what actually Magrishi is meaning, because a lot of things what Magrishi explains, you will get the full gist of it only by learning what they call as out of the box. And once you try to learn something out of the box, you will know, oh, this is why Magrishi is saying these things, and it will really connect the dots very clearly. And thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the weir team. Now, this discussion about the karma, I'm pretty sure everybody in this audience may have come across one way or another. Even those who are not in spiritual path, if something happens, they will say these are all because of my karma. Or if somebody is scolding the other person also, they will use this karma as the reason for whatever the mishappenings. So, from the outset, it may look very simple, and many of you may wish to know what is karma. I want to know some basics. I want to know how I can cleanse it or something in that angle. But having said that, if we are able to understand karma in the correct wavelength, in the correct depth to which Magrishi wishes us to know the karma, I can assure that it can lead to the level of what they call as liberation or enlightenment, and it will also help you to maintain that enlightenment, because many of you who are in the path to know what is enlightenment, attaining the mukti, etc., even if you attain it, it will not be stable as long as you're able to keep it with you. It's like something like say a spiritual path where somebody is very spiritual. Say for example, they are very odious worshipper of Rama. They may be thinking they are thinking about Rama 24 by 7, but in the real sense, in the day, at least 2 hours they may be talking to something or eating and other things which can distract them from the actual bhakti yoga marga. So similarly, even an enlightened person can at times fall down from that status and do some untoward things, or may have some problems in the life, etc. And knowledge of karma will really take us back into that comfort zone. So I have a lot of interesting things to discuss, but it all depends upon how much you are able to understand and how much you are preparation or whatever path you are, how much you have traveled already, that is the main thing which will give you the fruitfulness. And I'm quite happy for anybody to stop me anytime. I like discussions, and I'm sure we will be having a good discussion. And Aya told us that there is some interesting question discussed. I don't know anything about the question. And let us see if my presentation answers that question partially or fully. And then we can discuss those questions in the discussion also. Now, this is a song given to me by Dr. Devi maybe 2 years back. I was discussing the same topic with one of a very small group in the Temple of Consciousness, Aliyar. And at the time, whenever we do any topic, I try to catch hold of Dr. Devi and discuss with her what is her thoughts on that, etc. And this song was given to me by Dr. Devi. But she knows that I'm going to talk today, so she made all the efforts to write this song again in a paper and send me a WhatsApp message explaining the song again. And I told Dr. Devi, you did told me about this song 2 years back, and it makes a big sense on both understanding karma and also what our Maharishi stands it. It goes in Tamil. I know some of you may not understand Tamil, but I'll make sure you will get the full gist of the song's meaning. So the song goes like this. தன்னை அறிந்த தத்துவ ஞானிகள் முன்னை வினையின் முடிச்சை அவிழ்ப்பர் பின்னை வினையை பிடித்து பிசைவர் சிந்தையில் வைத்த சிவன் அருளாலே. This is a song from the great master Tirumular. Now, if we dissect it, the meaning is தன்னை அறிந்த தத்துவ ஞானிகள், which means a person who knows who am I. Maybe if you know about Ramana Maharishi, or a person who is enlightened, or a person who knows the purpose of life, or or a man who, or a person who knows what is karma, etc., etc. What they can do is they can Munnai Vinayin Mudichai Avulpar. Munnai Vinay means whatever happened before. Say, for example, we are discussing today. This instant is the only instant which is true. Even 1 second before this instant, the minutes where I started speaking this talk, everything is Munnai Vinay. Mudichai Avipar, which means the karma which we are carrying from life to life and multiple generations is known as Sanchita karma. Sanchita means bag. As long as something is within the bag, it will stay within the bag. And if the mudichi, which is the knot above the bag, if untied, then whatever inside will get evaporate. All these things are indirectly, I will understand it as biomagnetism. Your imprints, your life, your whatever prana, this world functioning, everything is magnetism. If it is in a living being, it is biomagnetism. If it is in a non-living being, it could be a electromagnetism or a geomagnetism. Everything is just types of magnetism. And as you can't understand, you all can understand that magnetism you can't touch. It's only a feeling. So whatever there in that sanchita bag, if you remove the knot, everything will get disappear. So just removing the knot itself is enough to remove whatever the karma happened in the past. And பின்னை வினையை பிடித்து பிசைவர். The explanation beautifully given by Dr. Devi is Pinnai Vinay is the one where the Agarmya karma, the karmas which you are going to do. Say, for example, if somebody is going to have some problem in a month, a financial problem, or somebody is going to have, say, diabetes in 2 years. So these are all like Pinnai Vinay, which is going to follow us. It is almost like made up of like a clay statue. And as long as you're not handling it, the clay statue will become strong and strong, maybe because of the sun rays, and become like a pretty hard rock. But when it is in the mold state, you can make it, or you can defigure it. That's what known as pisaiver means. And this happens if you Sindayil Vaita Sivan Arulale. It looks quite religious, but those who are in the path of spirituality in the correct wavelength, they will understand that this Bhakti Marga and Yoga Marga and Raja Yoga Marga and even Karma Yoga Marga, everything is same. All road leads to Rome, all margas leads to the enlightenment. So What they mean by Sindayil Vaitha Sivanarulale means just in your thoughts, you're thinking about the absolute space, the consciousness. So, our Magrishi has explained the same thing in beautiful words with much more meaning in that. And what a beautiful song, isn't it? And if somebody can revise this whole presentation with further, if you are going through this video in the later time, the single song is a gist or essence of the whole presentation. Now, this slide explains again all the three karmas which I said. The first one is the Sanchita karma. Sanchi means back. Palavinai, which means whatever the karmas which we have accumulated over many, many, many generations. So, the belief is if once a child is born, at that point, a child has got a Sanchita karma, which is like a bag. Of this Sanchita karma, a part of it is taken like a cake slice, which should be used or spent or dissolved in that particular life, that one generation. So that's why in the next picture, if you see in the middle one, Prarabdha karma is the nigad vinay, which is like a present tense. If you see all the white arrows or sanchita karma, it just goes from generation to generation of your soul. And Prarabdha karma is a red arrow which got separated and given one birth, one generation. Okay, and we will discuss about how this Prarabdha karma has to be handled, etc. And then the third type is the aganmya karma, where you do something new. So the child is born with kind of a to-do list. Okay, at 5 years, the child should go to the school. At 10 years, the child should struggle in reading. At 12 years, the child should do a beautiful improvement in the studies. Say at 17 years, should pass 12th standard with state first or country first, something like that. So like that, there is like a to-do list. But the child can change the karma and do something good or bad, that is known as aganmya karma. That is the pugu vinay, which is something new coming to that person's life in that particular life. Okay, so it is because of our new actions. That's why if you do good actions, it results in good. And Maharishi has done a wonderful talk. In fact, it's available in his own voice by name Karma Pava Panivugalum Pokum Vidangalum. It's a wonderful talk. He has spent almost like 45 minutes talking on this Aganmya Karma, how it works, and how a person's good work can make work as a male Padivigal to remove whatever the bad things which were supposed to happen to the person. So we'll come to that. Now, let us just dissect these three types of karma a little bit in detail so that we will start with a common ground, and then we will go into a little bit more depth. And a couple of slides in the end are very, very deep thoughts. Sometimes for some of you, it may not be understandable. I'm sorry. I wish to warn it quite in advance, but some of you may find it quite absolutely eye opener, and for some of you it can cause a bit of a disturbance, because this is reality in life, and we need to understand this one way or another. Now, of these three karmas, the first one to handle is avoiding aganmya karma. It is very easy, because aganmya karma is entirely in our consciousness, in our present life. So if you do good, you will get good. If you do bad, you will do get bad. So it's very easy. Avoid all the bads, do only good. That's it. And if you do all the good, again, the problem is even doing a good things can result in accumulation of karma. So if you are really good, if you start helping the people, then people will start praising you. People will start revolving around you. They will try to get some help from you, and they will try to make you as your city's counselor and then maybe a minister, and you may end up in a very, very, very wrong way. But how we can do good things to create that male padivigal, destroy the bad things, at the same time not get succumbed to the good things, that's where the voluntary works comes into play. Why lot of things were talked about. You should do voluntary work without expecting anything, and don't even expect a reward for your good deeds. That's where it comes. So if you start doing your things in a karma yoga protocol, that's another very good topic from Maharishi in his own voice. There are 5 videos available. He discussed each and every time 30 to 40 minutes, quite detailed on karma yoga. So you need to do good things, and not only the good things, it should be done without expecting anything in the return. If you expect anything in the return, you are accumulating agarmya karma. If you think agarmya karma is like a bag, a weight which you're lifting on the shoulder, whether it's a tons and tons of gold or whether it's a tons and tons of just black charcoal, end of the day it's weight, isn't it? And that's why a lot of rishis have left everything and just wore a saffron robe and gone to Himalayas, and they may do good and they never expected anything out of it, and they just want to spend the rest of the life, feed the body and finish the rest of the karma by spending the days. And that's the principle of agarmi karma. So agarmi karma, number one, avoid bad things. Number two, do only good things, but don't expect anything in return. It's very difficult. It's easy to say, but if you practice, you will see that it will create an inner smile in that. And then the second type of karma is the prarabdha karma. As you know, it is the small slice of it which we have accepted to spend in this lifetime. And the only way you can face the prarabdha karma is you need to accept it. It is like accepting your spouse. If you're a husband, your wife. If you're a wife, it's your husband. And you can't change much. And even if you change much, it will come in a different form and there won't be any big difference, believe me. So prarabdha karma is accepting it by understanding the principles of karma. And if you accept it, that indirectly gives you that inner energy and inner power to face it. And as long as we run away from the problem, as long as we are shying away from it, it will brew and it will grow. It's like a financial problem, and instead of just delaying it or placing that financial problem out of your eyes, you're not going to escape. It's going to be ringing back of your mind and clinging on your thoughts, etc. Instead of it, face it and then accept it and then run through it. It's a bad phase, it's okay. It's a bad phase. A good phase, it's absolutely fine. Good phase. And feel a kind of equilibrium, and quite good with every challenge. Every challenge you face, take it that you are spending a small slice of prarabdha karma. I say small slice, but the slice may be quite different, individually tailored slice. So if you come across a slice, if you understand it like, okay, I'm spending a part of my prarabdha karma, I'm quite happy to face it, that will give you a immense inner energy and inner strength to face it. And you will accept the goodness and badness with a kind of equilibrium. You won't get succumbed to your problems. You won't get elated if something good happens. It's like watching a cricket match. Say, let us assume all the people in this meeting are Indians. If there is a match between, say, India and Pakistan, obviously we wish India to win. So every run India scores, every wicket India gets, we all will appreciate. But at the same time, let us assume we see a kind of a neutral match, say between England and Australia, and none of you have any partiality towards any particular country. But the match is fantastic. The bowlers are very good. The batsman is very good. The batch is nicely leveled. If you are a cricket oriented, nice kind of an interested person, you will enjoy the match in a different angle. You will enjoy a good ball, you will enjoy a good shot, you will keep your mind in equilibrium on both sides of the play. That will give you a kind of a calmness. You will enjoy the match, and whatever happens in the end, you feel that you are the winner. So that's the trick you need to play if you face the prarabdha karma. And to face this prarabdha karma, you need healthy body and healthy mind. And who is the solution? Our own Magrishi. He has given so much of exercises like eye exercises, neuromuscular exercises, hand exercises, um, leg exercises, and also a lot of things for the mind. So with Maharishi's exercise principles, you build a kind of a strong physique and also strong mental status. whatever your prarabdha karma, you'll be able to face it with a kind of equilibrium. And ஐந்தில் அளவுமுறை is also tailored accordingly, so that if you maintain the ஐந்தில் அளவுமுறை, say for example, if somebody's prarabdha karma is that they are supposed to get diabetes, if they are following ஐந்தில் அளவுமுறை, no way they are able to get the diabetes. And if you just go to a doctor, and doctor is your family doctor, he may say, oh, your mom, your dad, your grandma, your granddad, everybody was diabetes, you should be also getting diabetes at one point. They will label you as pre-diabetic and then diabetic, etc. He will be quite surprised, how come you are now 40 or now 50, still your HbA1c is quite less than 40. So they may be quite surprised. And the only way to achieve it is by good healthy mind, body, and ஐந்தில் அளவுமுறை. Okay. And the third one, the big basket or big bag, is the Sanchita Karma. No way you can control the Sanchita Karma in this present lifespan, because, as I said, the karma, the whole slice is there, and then you have taken only a small slice into the present lifespan. That's the only thing you can handle. Sanchita Karma is going to follow for your next life and then the future generations of your life, or Magrish explain it as our own, like grandchild, grandfather, son, grandchild, like that. And the only way is not getting associated with that, and think that that particular sanchita karma belongs to your mind and belongs to your body, while you don't belong to your mind or belong to your body. This is where the crux of challenge comes. So I will repeat again. So Sanchita Karma belongs to your mind and body, and you should behave as if you don't belong to your mind and body. So you should get dissociate with that. That's where all these meditational techniques comes into play, and that's where Maharishi's absolute space association, either by Panchabhuta Navagraha Davam or by Turyadida Davam, will give you that enough strength to dissociate adequately from your mind and body, which the Sanchita Karma is associated. I think we are slowly getting into a kind of depth. I hope you are following, and I'm quite happy to be stopped if there is anything, because the coming slides are much more challenging if you are quite newer. Now, the levels of meditation, I'm sure you all will know. We just completed a wonderful meditative session, and every time I try to join this like 10 minutes before, and exactly when I joined, the meditation will be going on. I'm so pleased that I joined the meditation today. So, how this works is a few basics which you all possibly know. Of all the chakras, the Agna chakra and then the Sarasrahara chakra are very important. We always try to take our energy to the higher chakras. We know that it helped by our Kayakalpa practice, our Turyatita meditation, our initiation, etc. So these are all quite basics. So if you see any chakra lower to the Anakata chakra, is more to do with materialistic world, like for example, eating or sexual desire or money related desire, etc. Anakata chakra is like a crossroad, and Anakata chakra gives us a kind of a peace, and it gives us a kind of a happiness and a lovable relation, etc. It's still not separating you from your karmas, but it makes you a good, kind human being if you focus on the Anagata chakra. But if you go to the higher chakras, especially the Agna chakra, where the three nadis join, like the Pingala nadi, the right side nadi, and the Sushupna nadi, when all the three nadis join together at the Agna chakra, that's where, if you do the Agna meditation, what is happening is your biomagnetism is focused more on Agna. So the amount of biomagnetism available for the lower chakras, like the chakra which gives you a sweet voice or kind speech, a chakra which gives you a lovable relations, a chakra which gives you a lot of appetite, the chakra which gives you the sexual desire, all those chakras are weaned off from the biomagnetism. And when we focus on the Agna chakra, that gives you a good strength. So what's happening is, when you are able to do the meditations with focusing on the Agna chakra, automatically you are winning the Agarmya karma, because those who regularly practice that, the agadamya karma to have improper sexual relations, improper food habits, improper lovable relations with others, everything will decrease. So that's how the agna meditation works. And then if you take it further to the turiya meditation, your this life's slice of karma, the prarabdha karma, you are getting away. So by turiya meditation, as I said, the only way you can get away from this is by dissociation with mind and body. That happens with the turiya meditation, and that gives you a winning score over the prarabdha karma. And then if you are really taking above to the turiya atita meditation, which is like maybe like a 10 centimeter above the crown of the head, you dissociate yourself from your mind and body. As I said, that's the only way you are taking a step away from the birth, death cycle. So you are taking a step away, you are staying at the level of Turyatidam, and thus the Turyatida meditation will help you to get away even from your Sanchita karma. So that makes a little bit of sense, I believe. I hope you're all following me. And now, how this life force, which is the central goal of our WhatsApp group and this periodical Saturday sessions, is related, and how the regulation of karma helps to improve the life force. That is the next important topic to discuss. Now, the background we have covered completely. Now, what is karma? We have covered completely. What are the types of karma? We have covered completely. The next thing is everything due to karma? Few people who don't know the real scientific basis of karma also, they will always say, oh, these are all because of karma. I got married to you because of karma, you born to me because of karma, so all the problems are due to karma. But people never say if something good happens, like if somebody born with a silver spoon, somebody born in a very rich family, somebody got a super duper high quality life, they never say it's due to my karma, because of that the karma has got a little bit of bad end of the stick or wrong end of the stick, while karma means it's including everything, it's good and bad. So is everything due to the karma? Yes, the answer according to me is everything due to the karma. So from now onwards, I'm going to take this presentation in a slightly different angle. I wish you all to stay with me. I know there will be some doubts why Dr. Ananda is bringing this kind of thinking. If you feel it's uncomfortable, just write it in a paper so that we can discuss it in detail. The reason why I say this is I find this worked absolute brilliance in my life. It gave me lot of confidence and lot of purpose in life. It really put my life upside down. And I'm not saying after that I never had a problem, but problems keep happening. But it never bothers you. You feel so comfortable, and I can't even explain the feelings or the comfortness you can achieve if you put in this angle. So start believing that everything is due to karma. Okay, yeah, a small pin falls off, it's because of karma. If a volcano happens, it's because of karma. If lunar eclipse, solar eclipse happens, it's due to the karma. Everything due to the karma. And karma is not just for the human being or living being, it's for everything. All the planets, all the galaxies, the whole universe is running because of karma. You need to think at that level. That's why Maharishi has given us this Panchabhut and Navagraha Davam, so that you will be think big, macrocosm, they say. Okay. Then the next thing is planets and karma. It's a very, very important aspect. If somebody can't understand the linkage between the planets and karma, then the whole purpose of the Navagraha Davam is becoming useless. Okay. So, how these planets are related to the karma and how it finally fixes one particular human being. Okay. Now, we told that we discussed that everything is magnetism, and if it's in a living being, it's a biomagnetism. If it is in some objects, it could be electromagnetism, like for example the laptop which I'm using to present. And if it is maybe in earth, it is known as geomagnetism, but they are all types of magnetism. And magnetism governs everything. Magnetism governs Sun, Moon, Jupiter, planets, Andromeda galaxy, all the galaxies that we all accept. So, Sun's revolution, for example, it creates a kind of magnetism, which we call it as gravity, and that helps all the planets to revolve around the Sun. And similarly, maybe black hole in our Milky Way galaxy helps in creating a gravity, and that gravity helps Sun to go around that black hole, and then the whole planets go along with the Sun in that. I think you all quite clear in that. Now, if a person feels a bit okay, bit good, a bit happy, it's because of a kind of a magnetism feeling. If you feel happy, that happiness is nothing but a kind of a good happy magnetism feeling. If you feel bit dull, if you feel your prana is bit low, you feel you are not happy in getting up in your from your bed for the daily activities, it is because of the same magnetism being in a kind of a wrong end of the spectrum. Okay, so think like that. Everything is because of the magnetism. And now, how a person's prarabdha karma influences that person? It should be by one way or another, isn't it? So a person born with a prarabdha karma to do list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe up to 100 or 1,000, whatever, before his death. How it influences the person? It influences that particular person because of the magnetism, and the magnetism is depends on the planets. And the it's for earth, for example, the most easiest way the earth can be influenced is by the nearest satellite, which is the moon. And that's why the moon is also called as lunar. And people who are bit not good in the in their upper staircase are called as lunatic, because the moon has so much of influence in our thoughts. We know that psychiatric patients behave quite differently during the no moon day and full moon day. And earth magnetism is quite different during the full moon day. The waves are quite tall, we get large big tides. So that moons, that kind of magnetism affects the earth's geomagnetism, affects individual persons biomagnetism. And people who are a bit lunatic feels very uncomfortable, they can be easily agitated, and the low calmness is slightly lost if the magnetism power is higher. And similarly, all the nine planets influence a person's attitude, a person's thinking, a person's happiness, a feeling of depression, everything, and activities and everything. So that's how the planets act. Now, I'm going to bring again a new concept. I'm not sure how many people may be exposed to that. We all understand and accept that our life depends upon the grahams, our planets, and that's why we do the Panchaputa Navagraha Davam to make our self associated with all the planets. And by thinking about every planet, we make sure that the particular planet's influence on our life is bit equilibrated. I won't say it's nullified, because something will happen always. It's bit like neutralized. That's the correct word. Now, many of you may believe astrology. So, if there is something good happening to you in your life, like for example, your daughter's marriage or son going overseas for some studies, you may take that Jadagam and go to the astrologer to say, my daughter is going to get married. We are looking for the groom. Can you say it's the correct time? Can you say whether we need to wait or not? And that particular person, if he's a trained good person like our own Magrishi, he will look into the planet's position and then tell that particular person, this is the correct time to go for the marriage. This is not a good time. Maybe you need to wait for 6 months, something like that, they say. So exactly the same. So what I'm trying to say is the planets influence a person's life activities. So indirectly, it's all physically due to the magnetism, and astrologers depend on the planet's position. Now, what is the importance of the birth time? And we all know we have our own astrology. The book, the Jadagam, was written based upon the exact day, time, minutes, maybe even the seconds. And then at that particular point, for example, in my Jadagam, they may have written in all the boxes, like for example, the Jupiter is there, the Sunny is there, the Seva is there, something like that. How we understand till now is we are looking it from one side of the coin. we think that if a child is born at the particular day, particular time, particular minute and second, if the jadagam is in these positions, that means the child is going to have a good life, the child is going to have marriage at say 20 years, the child is going to have maybe some disease at 40 years, child is going to live till 90 years. So we always depend on this jadagam on this side of the coin and then take it like that. But as I said, we need to think few things out of the box. If you look at the other side of the coin, what actually happens is that particular soul has got, as we discussed in the basics, sanchita karma, and from the sanchita karma a slice is taken as prarabdha karma. That prarabdha karma has to be spent on that particular life. So a child is born with the prarabdha karma. When a child or a body and mind is associated with the prarabdha karma, then that prarabdha karma will manifest in that birth based upon that particular sun and planet's position. So it's not that we retrospectively use the planet's position to find our prarabdha karma. It is actually prospective process where prarabdha karma's summation of plus and minuses etc decide what time a child has to born. Unfortunately, this particular beautiful event of normal delivery is bit jeopardized by all the cesarean section and then planned deliveries at good day, good time, etc. That makes things a bit complex. So now you can understand how important the birth time is and how important that the birth time decides the prarabdha karma, or the prarabdha karma is the one which decides the birth time and then decides even everything happens up to the death time also. So nothing a particular body or mind or soul can decide. So if we understand this, it's like an automated process. So there is something like sanchita karma happening. The sanchita karma is shedding a small slice as prarabdha karma for every life, and for every life based upon the prarabdha karma, based upon the position of all the planets, that birth happens at particular time. And then based upon the same planets which we have in the jatagam, the whole life continues, events happens, good, bad, bad, good, whatever the written facts, and then death happens at one time. So we associate, think that this child born, it's me. I am this body. I am this mind. And we associate it with so much into that. And we run the whole life thinking this is the body, this is the mind. And even the people who are having working or traveling or struggling for the enlightenment, they think I want my body to get enlightened, my mind to get enlightenment. Your body and mind will never get enlightenment because they are absolutely riddled with the prarabdha karma's to-do list till the death. The only way we can get enlightenment is we need to come outside the body and mind and think that I am beyond that. I am that absolute space. I am that life force, which is the crux of this whole group discussion. And once you get associated with the life force, you feel that your body and mind is something like a vehicle to enjoy this one segment of your multiple births. And then in that vehicle, try to enjoy the journey as much as you can till the death happens. So this is one of the sweet way of addressing the karma. I'm not sure how much I'm able to put it in the words. I'm trying my best. You can see that. And Magrishi answered me, and I got everything what I need from Magrishi. And of everything, the main, the cherry on the top, or feather on the crown, they say, or the jewel on the crown, they say, is the Brahmanyanam. The classes of Brahmanyanam, which I attended in Aliyar, that really opened up. What a great concept. And the whole Brahmanyanam, I explained in different talks by using the Big Bang, etc. So the Brahmanyanam says that you are the absolute space, you are supposed to be associated with the absolute space and lead the life in as much of goodness to others without expecting any return. That is my understanding of the Brahmanyanam. And once you understand the Brahmanyanam, follow all the sky based exercises to have a strong body and strong mind by the meditative practices what we have in our hand. and try to give importance to the planets which addresses our karmas. Believe me, things should mellow down, things should get calm, and things should be a little bit more on the smoother side, isn't it? And that's how the karma works. And I will just give some practical life experiences and to see that whatever I said, it's like a applied physics. Okay, so let's take for example accidents. You may have come across people who had quite horrific accident, like train accident where thousands of people were died, and there are 4 to 5 people who escaped absolutely unscratched. And so why, if there is a train accident, 1,000 people die and then 1,000 people get injured, but there are maybe 100 person or 3 person got completely uninjured and escapes? Again, you should not able to connect the dots. The only way we can connect the dot is by using the karma. And take one single accident. Let's take for example a two-wheeler accident. A two-wheeler accident to person A can cause a significant scratch in the legs or back or something like that. Maybe go home, have a paracetamol, sleep well. Next day he or she may be able to do back to the job. Somebody may even have a fracture, but even with a fracture, they may find okay the next day with the plaster of Paris or whatever the immobilizing device in the leg. They may feel okay, it's good I had a fracture, I got a break from my office, I'm going to spend next day 10 days finishing whatever the Netflix series or a cricket match or reading a good book or spend your time on meditation and use it properly. But at the same time, the same accident, the same fracture may sometimes get infected and kills a person. So how a single same event affects person A, B, C, D in different aspects? It's because of their own prarabdha karma slices. So that's one way we can understand how the applied physics of this karma works. And similarly, a quarrel in a family. I'm very sure this is something which will reverberate with everyone. Every spouse will say that why my spouse gets upset for such a simple thing. And the only way you can explain is, if your spouse, you may be a man or a woman, if your spouse get upset because of something very simple out of proportionately, you may feel, I don't think there is need to have such a big quarrel or such a big ahoo moment for this kind of a small problem. It is again because of their own package of the prarabdha karma. So for their prarabdha karma, they need a chance to exhibit whatever they are supposed to exhibit. And then if you make a small mistake, they will exhibit the same. If you make a big mistake also, they will exhibit the same. It's end of the day, it is their prarabdha karma. And because of that particular exhibition of the anger, they are supposed to get a bit of tiredness or some physical disturbance, or maybe they will end up having some increase in blood pressure. So many to-do list in the prarabdha karma they are trying to address without knowing what is the reason of the anger. And so from now onwards, believe one thing: if you are making a mistake, it's your prarabdha karma. If somebody gets anger or get completely upset and then quite angry and quarreling with you because of that, it is their prarabdha karma. You should always think a kind of a dissociation. So once this happens, what happens is you feel, number one, okay, I made a mistake, I should not have done that, I am happy to apologize, I will make sure I will learn from this and I won't do it in the future. Your bug stops there. That's it. You should not feel bad whether the other person accepts your apology, whether the other person takes it lightly, whether the other person's upsetness calms down. It's none of your business. Okay. What happens is, I'm now working in Birmingham, in England. And when I came to England, maybe 15, 18 years back, I come across a consultant who is always upset. He gets anger for just a drop of the hat, and he is so pressurized person. it's very difficult for you to approach him to discuss something. If you have a patient care, you say, oh, I really want to discuss this patient CT scan with him, but I don't think he will be in a receptive position. So you try not to go with him and you try to go with another consultant to discuss the same thing. And I took this quite seriously. Why this person is always getting anger on everyone? It's not nothing with me. And then I come across a very nice article which says lion is supposed to be ferocious. You can't allow or you can't expect a lion, especially a hungry lion, to go to a small deer kid and then lick and be lovable. A lion is supposed to be ferocious. A snake is supposed to be poisonous. As a squirrel is supposed to be beautiful. A flower is supposed to be soft and good. A thorn is supposed to be sharp and prickle. So these are all like inbuilt inbuilt nature. Similarly, a particular person, according to his karma, the slice of the prarabdha karma, which he needs to complete in his lifetime, he will be a happy person or a very angry person or very non-approachable person or a lovable person or a brilliant person. So few things are absolutely fixed, and it's not your duty to think why that person is like that. You are married to that particular spouse because of your prarabdha karma also. So accept it and try to see if you both as a husband and wife can enjoy this spiritual path, understanding the karma. That if that happens, that house will be a brilliant house. And especially if children are joining the parents, that solves everything. That house will become a ashram, isn't it? But it not always possible because everybody's prarabdha karma is different, and there is always a mixed matched one. And so, if there is a quarrel in a family, just think only what is from your aspect, what mistake we have done, and try to rectify it. And try not to give too much of a importance to how much weightage others are giving to that. Because if you get upset because of the upsetness what others are throwing at you, that is not good for you. Any upset, we know it removes the prana, it really makes you dull. And then again, our own Maharishi has explained it beautifully in Kavalai Odithal. In the talk, he explains so good how much feeling of a kind of unhappiness will drive your prana away. And on a day if you are upset or unhappy, you can see even your kayakalpa won't work as brilliant. If you are practicing every day, you can see a big difference on the bad mood days. That oh my god, I've done kayakalpa, it doesn't feel as good as normal. You can feel that. And then the other good example on how this karma plays in our life is the parents versus the children above the age of 14. And why the above the age of 14 or sometimes even 12 nowadays? And nowadays children become adult at the age of 12 itself. And that's because, again, Maharishi explains very beautifully that from the birth, the child will be having a good amount of the prana and biomagnetism in the higher chakras. When they reach the age of 12, the excess of chakra will overflow and reach the lower chakras. And that's why they will start eat, if it is, say, for example, in Manipura chakra, with their own interest. They like this food, that food, etc. And then when the overflow of the biomagnetism goes to further lower chakras, they will decide whom to have a boyfriend or girlfriend, and some sexual interest, some music interest, some good bad, all types of interest happens. And that's where they stop being a yes mama, yes papa child, which means they will start saying like, no, I don't like that, I don't want to go for the holiday, you please go for that meeting, you go for that marriage, I will stay in home. All these differences comes into play. So sometimes I've seen parents used to say, my daughter and or son are entirely different after their 14 years. I'm seeing them as a new person. It's something like a second birth or third birth. That's how this biomagnetism in the lower chakra works. That's why to address this, our Maharishi exactly at that point, at the age of 12, at the age of 14, for women it's very easy when they are attaining the menarche, when the menstrual cycle starts, and for a boy when the voice changes or when the mustache and beard grows, we can easily identify the changes. If we give kaya kalpa to them, that creates that harmonious spread of the biomagnetism back to where they are supposed to be. So there is no overwhelming extra biomagnetism in the lower chakras, and that particular child will be reared up as a perfect human being. So our Maharishi has done everything tailored for a perfect human being, creating the whole perfect community. And sometimes we used to say follow the instincts. Say for example, you need to go for two events at the same time, maybe one marriage event and one friend's son's birthday event, something like that. And you need to decide which you are going, and follow the instinct. If your mind says I will preferably go to the birthday party rather than the marriage, if that thought comes to you, that is called as the inner instinct. And there are various publications, both scientific journals like Journal of Consciousness, etc., that follow the instincts. Why is that? Why they are saying follow the instincts? Because the instincts comes, or that inner feeling comes based upon your slice of prarabdha karma, based upon your orientation with the planets, etc. So this is what supposed to happen. So if you're not following the instinct, and if you go to a different place, then what happens is you are trying to fight against the nature. And in that process, something can happen, something very untoward effect can happen, something very unbalanced effect can happen. So this is the reason that follow the instinct concept has come. And it's a very common thing is I trained the doctors for the MCQ based exam, and also theory based exams and practical based exams. In the MCQ based exam, especially if there is no negative marks for wrong answer, just follow your instinct, ABCD, whichever you feel. All the answers looks absolutely correct, absolutely wrong, I don't know anything about this topic, so follow the instinct. I think B seems to be okay. Follow the instinct. The chances of you getting more than 50% correctness will happen if you follow the instinct. Okay. And Vivekananda in his Karma Yoga book quite clearly written, good, good, bad, bad. If you do good, something good will happen. If you do bad, something bad will happen. None escape the law of karma. And here I need to bring in another good Swamiji by name Turiyananda. And this Turiyananda, this person actually is a very odious practitioner, almost like our Magrishi, a kind of like a good meditative practice, and able to dissociate his thoughts and feelings from his mind and body because of the strict samadhi related practice, etc. And at one point he was discussing with his disciplines that you should be able to feel that you are not the body, you are not your mind, you should be able to achieve that kind of calmness in your meditation, etc. And so one student who is bit of a like a spooky student, he said that, so does it means like there is a fire literally burning in that place? Around the fire the people were sitting and discussing like a satsang. And so if you put your hand into the fire, it means it won't burn you. And this person literally put his hand into the fire, and his hand is literally in the fire, but he was consciously able to see his hand getting burnt. Okay, this is a real event happened and documented in various places. And how that much of dissociation is possible is because of hours and hours of years and years of practice of the Turyatida meditation. And so these are all happened. And the usual thing says is observer of unhappiness. If you are unhappy, say for example an economic problem, or maybe a disease in the family, one of your relative is not feeling well, you feel bit low. Oh my god, I don't want to get this particular problem at this particular time. Think who is unhappy. Think that your mind is unhappy, and watch your mind, and watch that how your mind handles your unhappiness. That creates a kind of a space with you and your mind and the body. These are what, as I said, I'm slowly getting into the deep waters, and maybe quite uncomfortable or maybe quite new for a few people. But this won't come quick. If you are able to observe your unhappiness, I'm not saying observe your happiness, because end of the day we all want fun, we want to have your life. So if you have happiness, enjoy it. Enjoy the happiness, enjoy a happy event, enjoy a goodness happening in your life. But if something is bad, try to observe that unhappiness as, okay, as you know, my name is Ananda. So if something happens to me, I literally take it like, okay, Ananda, I think today you are supposed to undergo this. Okay, let me see how you are going to handle it. So it's like you get another companion with you, and that companion is neutral. Okay, so that companion is looking at you and trying to help you conduct your mind and have and body for that unhappy event. So if you practice this for maybe 6 months or 1 year, you will find that yes, there is a gap between the unhappiness and me, and I can achieve a little bit of more confidence in that. And then you will reach a stage where even in the happiness, you will start observing. If you do something well, if there is a good presentation, and for example, maybe few of you know, I am now traveling in Ahmedabad, and we had a wonderful conference for the past 3 days. It's a medical conference, and one of my presentation today morning had a standing ovation. But the same standing ovation I've received many times in my life, even 3 years back or 10 years back. But that elated feeling, what I used to get for this event 10 years back, is entirely different from what I got today morning in the morning session. Because I'm pretty calm, and okay, somebody is appreciating my mind and body, so I'm using my mind and body in a good manner. It's like you have a good car, you maintain the car, you service it, you clean it, you keep it spotless, you keep the oil, tires pressure, everything correctly. And if you're a friend passing by saying, oh good, you're maintaining your car very nicely, that's quite top notch, and you feel happy. But you won't feel that it's for you. You feel, okay, I'm happy because I'm maintaining my car in a top notch service state. So similarly, any appreciation comes to your life, you feel happy. Oh, that's nice to hear that I'm keeping my mind and body in the top notch condition. So that dissociation will come. Once that dissociation comes, you will not disturbed either by goodness or by the badness. And it's such a beautiful life. It takes years to achieve that status, and that is the only way you will be slightly standing outside your slice of prarabdha karma. Your prarabdha karma will literally dwindle and die, because there is no way it can be fed. Okay, so I will explain it by another event. Say, for example, if somebody's prarabdha karma is there, by feeling quite frustrated and unhappy by seeing a cricket match. Okay, like unfortunately the final match of the World Cup, which is ended. Okay, you are a big cricket fan. You are supposed to see the match, and the India is going to lose, and you are supposed to feel very low. You're supposed to feel bad, and that badness and that sorrow, that unhappiness, going to cling you for at least 24 hours. And you're going to spread that unhappiness to your friends, and friends are going to give it to you, and it's going to be a quite uncomfortable status for 24 hours, till the life get fills with your job and other things, and slowly that unhappiness will fade away. This is your prarabdha karma. Okay, and let us assume this prarabdha karma as something like a living entity. Okay, so like in our Tamil movies, our manasachi will come on the side and talk to us, isn't it? So think like that. So the prarabdha karma says, okay, this Saturday, this World Cup final is going on. This India match, India is going to miserably lose the final, which unfortunately this particular person don't know. And I will make sure that he or she get upset for the next 24 hours and tick one of the to do box in the prarabdha karma. The prarabdha karma is literally inching and waiting to give you that trouble. What happens if you follow the things what we discussed till now? Okay, you're seeing the match, you're enjoying the match for the opposite team's wickets, you're happy, and there is always a hope going on. That's how the match runs, and you're hopeful. Unfortunately, India lost the match. And you are a sage, you are an odious practitioner of Magrishi, and Magrishi has given us all the weapons to face this life. Okay, and you feel quite calm. Okay, that's nice. End of the day, good team wins. This is part of the life. And you're talking all the sage like words and running a common life. And you can even, you just go and cook something with your spouse and prepare for the next day. You feel quite calm. And if your friends were quite frustrated and sending you some WhatsApp message in the groups saying that how upset, how bad it is, and you say, come on guys, this is part of the life, it's a game, and you feel so comfort. Let us assume this prarabdha karma standing aside. I'm trying to give him some problem. He's not allowing me to do. So the prarabdha karma, which is supposed to do the tick box to do list from your birth to death, becoming absolutely handicapped. And this is a simple way of literally spoiling your prarabdha karma. Because as we said, agadma karma is very easy. Don't do any bad. Okay, simple thing. Second thing, do only good, but don't expect any return of it. Only two lines. Aganme karma sorted. It's much easy to start. Prarabdha karma is a little bit complex because it hacks quite hidden and it's not in your control. Okay, and of course the meditative practices we discussed also, which level meditation helps in which level of karma negotiation. And sanchita karma is an absolute different ball game. You should absolutely dissociate from your mind and body and think you're not the mind, you're not the body. It takes years and years of practice. Depends upon the size of the bag, it may even overspill into the next lifespan also, but nothing wrong in trying our best, isn't it? And I will just touch upon this suicide. Okay, again we can build the cat by different ways. So what happens if somebody gets suicide? Okay, number one, the easy answer is the person's prarabdha karma itself tailored for a suicide at the age of 30, at the age of 40. So that's it, buck stops there. Very easy decision. The second way is the prarabdha karma is not designed like that. The person supposed to live, say, maybe up to 60 or 80, whatever, but somehow the person's body and mind is so strong and it ends up in a suicide or an accident or a murder, something like that. Okay. And if something like that happens, then that's where even Magrishi once mentioned in a video on the Sukuma Payanam about this soul which is not completed and the karma, the to do list is still pending, but they try to see whether a weak soul is available to get into that. Magrishi has done a beautiful job. I don't want to get into that because I'm not sure how much this team in this particular meeting is oriented to those kind of talks, so I don't want to get into those talks. But the one thing which Magrishi makes it quite clear is suicide, absolute no. End of the day, it will not give you peace, it will not give you a complete result, because if you understand that the karma goes from life to life to life, you are just spoiling one innings, while the rest of the innings will get more challengeable. Okay, I don't want to decide too much, but Magrish has done a wonderful job on it. If somebody really likes, please ask in the question session. I'm quite happy to dwell it in depth. And there are various books. I've come across at least, I will say, 20 to 25 books on the similar concept what Magrishi has given us, of which this book on illusions is a very good one. It says you have put everyone in place by yourself. In that word everyone, you are also included. Okay, so everything happens by yourself at the time of the birth. If you are based upon the slice of the prarabdha karma, you are supposed to finish off in that particular lifespan. The particular planet orientations are correct and you are getting birth. Let us understand it like this: your soul decides which family, which father, which mother, which elder sister or brother, which elder sister or brother going to follow, which school, which life, which spouse, which children going to born. Everything is pre-decided. The only way you can do to get your life better is by doing good, so that the bad things will reduce, and make sure your body and mind are strong enough. And even that strong body and mind also should be kept at a dissociated level. It's as simply explained in these four lines. And maybe give a try to these books. And there is also very good evidence to prove that multiple lives happening. It's not just only the Hindu mythology or what Maharishi has told us. Brainwaves has written many books on how this rebirth works, and there are multiple case studies, multiple instances in the region of 500,000 case studies of proof for the rebirth, proof for the next generation, proof for this life cycle happening. And I'm pretty sure at least few of you may have come across this. So I'm going to stop here. Before stopping, let's have a quick recap of what we have done. We have discussed what karma is, and we have three broad categories, and we discussed how these categories can be handled. And I try to bring in Maharishi's concepts on how Maharishi helps us to untie the karma at different levels, and how a good strong body and strong mind following Vedantian principles of exercises and meditative practices at different level helps. I try to bring some metaphysical topics on the planet and biomagnetism, etc. And I'm sure you all will be having some questions. I'm quite happy to help with the questions, and let's see how far we are progressing further. Thank you very much. I'm happy for the questions.
Thank you very much. And you have taken the full 60 minutes, and the time left for question and answers, we will see. And
Okay, sir.
meanwhile, I would like to invite Dr. Devi to give her feedback. Dr. Devi?
வாழ்க வளமுடன் ரபி, வாழ்க
Yes.
வளமுடன் Ananda. As usual, it was a very good presentation. Thank you for your reference about me. About the song, தன்னை உணர்ந்த தத்துவ ஞானிகள், the last line is not சிந்தையில் வைத்த சிவனருளாளி, it is சென்னியில் வைத்த சிவனருளாளி. That's the rhyming. Senni means head by head by Sahasrar or Turyatita state. So that is a small thing I wanted to say. And of course, your explanation about karma and karma yoga was very good. So karma is what? Karma means action. That's what we do every day. So karma is action which gives a reaction. Whereas karma yoga is action without reaction. That means that there is no agamya karma and you don't go on accumulate. See, in doing the prarabdha karma, we are creating agamya karma and then enriching that or increasing our sanchita karma. So that's how it goes. That's why the never-ending deaths and births. So that is a nice point. And you said about equilibrium, but it was a good example of the cricket match. So the lesson we learn here is when we get emotionally involved, we become a party to it. So we cannot be a witness. So when we are not emotionally involved, like England or Australia, we are not involved emotionally. So we can be a Sakshi, the Sakshi Baba or the witness consciousness. So this witness consciousness is the basis of all spiritual practices. And that is exactly explained how in the later stages you explained about the mind, looking at the mind itself and then seeing that happiness and unhappiness on the same scale. So for that, you have to develop the witness consciousness or the Sakshi Bhava. And about the Turiya, you said about Agnya, Turiya and Turiya Dita meditations. See, in Agnya, what happens is we go to alpha level of brain wave. And Turiya, we go to the theta levels. And Turiya Theta, we go to delta levels. So when you have reached the theta level itself, you can connect to the universal rhythm. That is, you can understand what is happening, or what they say is you can listen to God. In other beta and alpha, you are talking, but you're not listening. But theta state, you are listening. But when you go to delta state, what happens is you can command and you can rewrite what is already written there. So your தலையெழுத்து we say தலையெழுத்தை மாற்ற முடியாது. But then you can rewrite. This is what happens with சென்னியில் வைத்த சிவன் அருளாலே. It's not only Sivan Arunale that we can do it ourselves, even our Guru can do it. If you have the mentality of completely surrendering to your Guru or your Ishta Devata, they can also rewrite your karma or whatever destiny. See, that means, supposing it's your karma to have a fracture and suffer the pain and everything, the grace of your guru or your Ishta can make it happen in your dream. So you go through the fracture, you go through the pain, you suffer the same thing, but in your dream. See, that is how. Anyway, it has to happen. But Swami Satyananda used to say, but the Guru can make it happen in the dream. So that is one thing I wanted to say. So other thing you said, everything is due to karma. Yes. So this helps in accepting the prarabdha karma and not blaming the others. See, that is what Kanyan Pongundranar said, Teedum Nandrum Pirardara Vara. That one line, if we understand in life, we will not blame others. See, when you blame others for your misfortune, it's like blaming the arrow instead of the person who aimed it. The person who aimed the arrow is your own self, but the person who is causing you that pain is only the arrow. So that means you have sent the arrow to hit on yourself. That's why the Tamil proverb, Eidavan irka ambai novaden. So these are all very small lines, but profound philosophy behind it in just one line. So as you said, the karma decides the time of birth, the parents, your family, your wife. The quote from Illusions is a very apt one. So I just want to share one of my small experience. I think the time is a lot
Out.
is gone, but just 1 minute, because we don't think that we doctors do cesarean and change the time of birth. If that baby is to come in that time in cesarean, that's karma again. See, one small example. One day, one patient. Usually, we don't do a cesarean during OP hours between 10:30 and 12. I never accept a cesarean. But one patient was very, very particular because she's already lost some babies, and they said between 10:30 to 12. So we got, the anesthetist had come, we put the patient on the table, even draped the patient and all. And then, we had a patient coming with a BPH. So we shifted that patient from the operation table to the waiting room. And then the PPH patient, we did the cesarean between 10:30 and 12. Usually in 10:30, 12, 1.5 hours, I can do 2 cesareans. But this one was having such a bad PPH, it went on beyond 12 o'clock, and that other patient could not deliver in the time that they went and saw the astrologer. She could not have it in that time. So it is not that we doctors change the time of birth, it's just destined to happen that way. So that is one thing I wanted to say that. Otherwise, everything was very nice, and thank you for the presentation. வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Dr.
Dr.
Devi.
Devi. Thank you. Ananda and Devi,
Yes.
they agree to each other. My uh, topic for today is imprints and life force. So I think Ananda will agree that he made
Yes,
a
sir.
passing reference to that and not. He has actually. That is why I avoided the word karma and selected the word of imprints. So the
Imprints.
imprint is broad based, and karma is focused. And karma takes us away from this thing because of the large knowledge you have behind karma. Karma has been discussed from time immemorial. And now the imprint is specifically the name selected by Maharishi to give this thing. What I wanted in this thing is, you know that you have been telling Sanchita Prarabdha Akamya Karmas. Where are they stored in our body?
Genetic center.
Mm. How many genetic centers we have?
Only one genetic center for all the three bodies.
That is the biomagnetic genetic center is one for the whole body. But every organ, every cell, every element has a genetic center in them. And so, how these karmas, which span to millions of years, how they are stored? Is there
That's where the
space
imprints
where
come.
it is?
Imprints.
Yeah, yeah. That's why imprint is selected, and how this imprint is formed. The, the karma explains how it operates, how it is formed, where is it stored, when it matures, at a given point of time, how a particular imprint comes into action out of the millions and millions of imprints, karmas. So that is very well explained by Maharishi. And the thing is, as Devi was telling, the birth time is already fixed for the child. And how is it? Vinaypadive Deham Kandai. So the imprints make the blueprint for your life. How that is explained with the help of the life force. That is the point to be discussed. And said the sky practices and the imprints. How? What happens to the imprints because of our yogic practice? Are we getting relieved of these things? How we can முன்னை வினையை பிடித்து பிசைவது எப்படி? How to get relief from them? How to detach yourself? You said detached and live the life. So that detachment, what does it make with reference to imprints? So these are the things and some more to be covered. I think we will do that in the next session when it is possible. And next week and next week we have our Christmas. The next week we have the New Year Day, and so we have a long holiday for the next meeting and seasonal holiday. And we will see Vijayalakshmi will be making that presentation. And Bharat Shah wants to tell something. Bharat Shah, please.
Yes, I have. What I had one request over here that when I was listening to Dr. Ananda's, is an excellent presentation. So many things is cleared up in a confusion. But one thing I was to say that he mentioned about the suicide. When he came to the suicide part, he mentioned that Maharishi has lot of explanation over then. I'm not going to talk about over here because he doesn't know whether group is ready for that. And I was more curious to know what Maharshi was talking about in that respect, which he did not talk in this session. And the second thing is because we did not have much time, is there any way we can extend this session on a time? Because we are having a 2 more weeks or 3 weeks, we don't have anything. So if we can extend today's session longer, so give a chance to Dr. Ananda also at the same time, other people has a question answers
I
time.
request Ananda to pass on the referred matter to you
Yes, sir.
personally and help you. That can be done,
Can I,
Ananda.
can I just
Yes,
add 1 minute, sir? Is it okay? Because it's useful for others also.
yes,
Very
yes.
summary. Yeah. Bharat Shah, sir, for your question, a very, very concise summary because the topic can be discussed over 1 hour. Number one, Magrishi clearly mentioned suicide is not the answer for anything. That's number one. Number two, if a person undergoes suicide or not even suicide, it may be an accident, it may be a murder by someone, etc. That particular soul's, that prarabdha karma to-do list is incomplete. It's not fully satisfied. So that soul will try to get attached to another weaker soul That's where the episodes of in India, you may come across a person got hold by the spirit, on those kind of episodes happens. That was very nicely explained by Magrishi. And also, we used to say that 14 days is important, because on the till the 14 days, if the friends and relatives were mourning, if they keep themselves at low activity, not switching on the TV and enjoying a future film or cooking something grand or something like that, that soul really feels that, okay, people feel my absence, people feel for my death. And slowly that soul gets a kind of like a calmness. And end of the day, soul is just the magnetism, and it will just dissolve into the magnetism. And if there is a முடிச்சு அவிழ்க்கப்படாத sanchita karma bag remaining, it will just wait for the next planetary constellation time for the next birth. This is the crux of Magrishi's, I think, 3 videos, each spanning almost 40 minutes. But we will discuss it quite detail in the next session.
Thank you. I hope we have more sessions.
Sure.
Okay. The idea of close relatives and friends assembling around the dead body, Maharishi says, is to provide a chance for the karmas, unutilized karmas, the stock karmas, to get distributed along the resonating genetic centers. So they take over this thing. They lessen the burden of the karmas. This is in a way of this thing, which Maharishi says very clearly. He explains why we give importance to the funeral rites. Okay, I think if we will meet next time, which will be announced by Vijay Lakshmi. Now Vijay Lakshmi can take over.
Rabi Ayya, couple of people have raised the hands. If you permit, we can just answer 5 minutes each.
It is now 9. So it will overrun. So I request the people who have raised the hands to talk to Ananda personally and carry on. Is it okay?
Okay for me.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Varagalamudan. Vijay Lakshmi Amma is traveling today, so I will be concluding the session.
Please,
So,
right.
to conclude the circle, the question today asked at 8 a.m. when the session started was, is there rebirth? How is karma influenced? Why a saint does everything unusually, like throwing things, stuff, and cursing some people and everything? Isn't they not bound to karma? So I don't know. I think this question, the session is actually a rebirth of the question in a different way. So that kind of answers. So I did not tell the question at the beginning of the session. I just want the session to go, and hopefully, Baraji, you understood the transition happened without even us trying to influence anybody else. So that's the beauty of karma. With that note, we're ending this beautiful year's session today by world blessing, and then see you all in a beautiful next year, 2024. May the whole world be blessed with plenty of rain. The farmers work to produce an abundance of grain. Let practitioners of all prosper, flourish, and grow, and all cultures progresses through the needs to share and grow. Let the rulers be beyond feeling of anger or fear, illiteracy, poverty, and all evils made to disappear. Let the true lamp of knowledge burn steady and bright. Our sense of duty guide us along the path always to be right. வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வளமுடன். Thank you all for attending this session, and we'll continue in the following year after the seasonal breaks. Thank you. வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
Thank you.
வாழ்க வளமுடன்.